Yeah, sure. First of all, how are you, Coach? Good afternoon. It's already 1 o'clock. I just wanted to get a gauge on the team. I mean, after taking a long extended break, and then coming back, facing against St. Mary's, how is the team feeling after that first game after, a long time off?
Really, really good. I mean, we needed to play. I mean, there's only so much practice you can do, shooting and skill work. So definitely playing anybody is a good thing. Guys got after it. Guys, still stuff we need to work on. Getting Big Jeffrey out there was huge for us. Hopefully soon Javon Levi will return. So just getting our whole squad back to what we had projected at the beginning of the year, we're a step away.
And you did mention Jeff. He did play his first game for UTRGV. That was definitely an exciting moment, not only for I would imagine him, but for the rest of us that have been waiting for him all season. But he is coming back from injury. In the days after that game, did he feel all right? Was he doing good? What were kind of his emotions just after the game?
Oh, it was great, great. A little sore, but he practiced yesterday, practiced today. We took it slow when you're a 7 footer and you got banged up knees and old man knees, and you take it slow. So we definitely need him here for conference, which is our goal, conference tournament, and hopefully NCAA tournament. So we need the big fella. So glad that he finally got in there. We recruited him previously, so we knew what he could do. Kind of the cherry on top of the cake per se. So we're glad to have him. We're glad going forward to get a little game underneath him and be ready to go this weekend and patrol and protect the paint as we need him to do.
And this weekend is the team's first Western Athletic Conference matchup against new WAC incoming Dixie State. Usually when it comes to conference season, you guys kind of face the same coaches, the same teams. There's kind of a system, and it's kind of like rinse and repeat, and maybe make a couple new adjustments. But with a whole new program entering, has this, what has been different leading up to this matchup?
First of all, they played 6 games. We as a staff, we watched every game multiple times. They're very well coached. They have a very, very good team. They're fundamentally sound. They're tough. They're smart. Very scary on paper. And so we're hoping to compete at a high level and be able to get a win Friday, and then we'll make adjustments and see what happens on Saturday.
And you just mentioned it right there. This is the first double header of the season as well, where play Friday and then a quick turnaround on Saturday. How do you think this is going to affect the coaching staff and just how quick you guys are going to have to make adjustments, to not have to split any of these games and hopefully get 2 victories?
Well, first, my years in the G League helped a lot because we played back to backs all the time. So bounce some ideas off Coach Hill. We've talked to other people who are currently playing back to back, Conference USA, UTSA, and some other schools, kind of stuff they do, but pretty much the same thing. Talked to my good friend Tyronn Lue with the LA Clippers, and you go out and throw everything out on a Friday night, rest on Saturday, make a few adjustments, and just try to squeak out a win on Saturday night. So there'll be some feeling out to do. It's the first time we play Dixie. Hopefully we get a win, and then obviously we'll look at the tape, go back, rest, make some adjustments, and try to get a win on Saturday night too.
And playing back to backs, in the NBA at least, there's this whole thing where players resting or players that are injured. And I know UTRGV unfortunately has had a lot of injuries this season. I mean, Jeff is coming back from an injury. Javon, is coming back from an injury. Sean last game, at least I went down with an injury. I don't know his status. Will there be any type of adjustment from, in terms of rotation that you guys have for those double headers to kind of give, players rest as you guys see fit?
Good thing about this team, kind of like when we had Terry Wynn in that group a few years ago, we're older, bigger, stronger, yet bruises, bumps probably show up a little bit more. But we have 14 guys that can play, including Nikki and Isaiah making 16. So we are deep. We expect to play everyone. And rotations, coach does a good job. He lets me sub a lot too. So we keep an eye on everybody's minutes. Obviously, we want to win. Having Javon, Jeff, and Sean coming back from injuries is obviously we'll watch that a little bit. But Uche, Doc, Anthony, and Malik, and Merrick, we have enough. We have enough where we can rotate everybody, and then we should be okay.
Awesome. Those are all the questions I have. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach, good afternoon. Happy New Year to you. I've got to ask you, with the depth and rotations that you guys have got going on, how important is the recovery factor going to be from one night to the next? Having that you have that coaching experience with the G League and in other places where you've been, how important is that going to be?
We've been working on this for a while. This wasn't like something we just came up with this week. Lucas Monroe's done a great job in the training room. The extra conditioning we've done, even when we were in and out of COVID, missing some guys. The other guys were here running, doing extra stuff. We go really, really hard, then we back off. So we've kind of worked our way up into this point where we're not just throwing it into this weekend. We kind of prepared for the last month and a half that, this could happen. And fortunately, we haven't had any COVID where we've had to be on lockdown or away from each other. So we're prepared about as best as we can, minus injuries, to play a back-to-back. And again, the depth, I really think we have 14 guys that can play. We'll have our entire squad, so we'll be ready to go. So, managing minutes, hopefully there's no injuries. And obviously, they have the same things for them too. They're a deep team too. They can play 10, 11, 12 guys. So hopefully we're just a little better than both of them on both nights.
And also the team conditioning, one of the things that was one of the key factors to you guys having a little bit of a deep run, but now coming into a different type of scheduling where you're going to play the same opponents twice on back-to-back nights. Uh, how do you program your guys, or how do you condition them to say you might have back a Javon Levi, a Jeff O'Cherry, and have a whole slew of your team coming back from injuries?
Well, Coach Hill's mentality is next man up. Since we've had so many injuries, Doc's done a really good job running the team. Javon's been here on the sideline cheering him on. Big Jeffrey's been here. Sean's been a great surprise, playing unbelievable. Jeffrey and Sean talk all the time while Jeffrey was nursing his injury. Same with anybody who's been out for injury. We've had that position or that player be right there supporting them. So even though we've had injured guys, the other guys have stepped up. Now those guys that come back realize, they understand, Javon's a starter, Jeffrey, those guys. But we're a team, we're a family. So like I said, everybody's going to play. We don't know who's going to start, but everybody's going to play. And we have enough as a unit to compete now and try to win this WAC championship.
And last one for me, the emergence of Laquan Butler, the last game. How do you see him, like from a growth standpoint all the way up to now? It just seems like he keeps getting a little bit better at every game that the team has out. And now that you're coming into a important part of the schedule, how has he been able to perform up to par now?
Quan's done a great job. We normally, I brought him in to redshirt him and maybe fill the void of Javon Levi next year, or, sit out this year before everything happened. So then all of a sudden we had injuries, and with COVID and then the NCAA allowing this to be kind of a freebie, we threw him into the fire per se. And so there was some growing pains to start the way we play. Obviously, defense is Coach Hill's philosophy. And Laquan, you can see he can shoot it, he can score. Defense, we've had to work on. Coach Crandall's done a tremendous job bringing him up to speed. Coach McKay shooting with him every morning. So he's been a surprise. And again, when you look at the New Mexico States and kind of how we've built our recruiting, and my thought process in there is New Mexico State doesn't drop. when they sub, they either go up or they stay the same. And so if you have a Laquan Butler and other players like that, we don't drop now. We may go up. And a Saturday night, working for Chris Finch and Nick Nurse, that was important that our bench unit, whether who it was, somebody's going to have to step up and help us, because the starters play back to back, but our bench play is very important. So if you get a Laquan Butler who can get you 10 to 20 points off the bench, is huge for us. So very, very happy with him, not only on the floor, but I think he had a 3.0 off the court. So very, very excited for him, not only this year, but going forward. I think he'll be an all-conference guard.